All right, well, a very excellent presentation on a community that really started out without facilities. We're going to jump right into a community that from the get-go was about building facilities. And we have a gentleman, David Ray, the community manager for Nocatee. He very kindly provided the way to pronounce that in parentheses. I appreciate that. Nocatee is a planned community in Northeast Florida, about 13,000 acres, and it will be home to 11,000 families at full build-out. It's currently, we're told, the third best-selling community in the whole country. Wow, that's amazing. David is a certified public accountant, so he knows his numbers. He's got his MBA from the University of North Florida, which we'll forgive him for. He's also a licensed community association manager and a real estate broker. So we really do want to have our realtors as part of this conversation. We thank you very much, David, for joining us. Please take it away with Nocatee.
Thank you. Thanks. Great to be here. And first, my attitudes, opinions, and approach to this whole thing, my presentation would have been very, very different 18 months ago. Because 18 months ago, I took up triathlon, and I soon learned that I despise swimming, I could tolerate running, but I love my bicycle. And that has really had a tremendous impact on me, as well as a lot of things that I do at Nocatee, and a lot of ways that we run the community. It was very fascinating for me to listen to Jose's presentation and compare and contrast, because we're at very different points in the community development. But I tell you, I am very, very impressed with Jose and his group and the things that they've accomplished. Unlike Palm Coast, we are a community. We're not a city, we're a community, but a fairly good-sized community, 13,000 acres, over 60% is greenway and preserve, 11,000 homes that build out, 9 school sites, and I just put that in to give kind of an indication of the size. The planning for Nocatee began in 1999, approvals in 2005. Yes, it was a long and very, very, very difficult process. The first homes were constructed and sold in 2007. Nocatee is a development of regional impact, a DRI, and you need to get approval from everyone. Every department of the county, the state, and so on, it has to sign off, and in order to sign off, you have to, this is being recorded, so they are wonderful. Home sales expected for 2014, about 1,000. And Nocatee, in its current state, is pretty much all about selling homes, and a lot of what they do is about selling homes, which will come into play in a little bit. Our location is right on the this quarter up here. This 15% is actually in the city of Jacksonville, and then 85% is in St. Johns County. We have the Intercoastal Waterway and about 3 miles to the ocean. We have a major road running east-west, which is a limited access road, and there's no bike riding on that. A very nice loop right around here, which is about 7 miles, and these roads have yet to be constructed, but when they are, there'll really be some significant areas to bike. One of the first things that Nocatee did in building the community, they set aside 2,400 acres fronting 3.5 miles on the Intercoastal Waterway. They set it aside as a preserve and gave it to St. Johns County. Then in the design of Nocatee, it was very important. One of the things that they wanted to do was look for alternative transportations. Greenways was very important. Greenways, preserves, very important to them. And there was path of greenways. Where there's no greenways, there's multi-purpose paths. The multi-purpose paths, many of them are accessible for electronic vehicles, the electric carts, and they promote that as an alternative transportation. Within the preserve, the Southern Off-Road Bicycle Association came in and put miles and miles of mountain biking trails in. And then all of our collector roads and arterial roads were designed with bike lanes. And here's where Nocatee had an advantage over others. From the very get-go, they were all designed like that. Now, question of why. The title of the presentation was why Park Group, the master developer of Nocatee, designed such a bike-friendly community. The actual answer to that question takes less than a minute. It's a very simple answer, so I'm going to talk about some other things as well. But first of all, Nocatee was a new master plan community. They had a blank slate. They the developer really wanted to do the right thing. And part of that was for alternative transportation. They had a commitment to nature and to outdoor activity. And, oh, by the way, the county required it. St. Johns County really did have a lot of vision and a lot to do with why there are such good bike trails with it. Remember I talked about the DRI process? As part of the process, the county said, you're going to have bike lanes. As part of the developer wanting to do it right, they said, hey, great. And as part of the engineers wanting to win awards, man, they designed some beautiful ones. But the combination of all of that, because what was interesting to me, when I first looked at this question, I looked at the principles of the park group and said, they wouldn't have ever thought about bike lanes. They had no, it's not something that would have meant anything to them. But they did want to do the right thing. And I think when the county came in and said that they would have bike lanes, I think it all worked out quite well. So the result is a lot of really beautiful bike lanes. So now that we have bike lanes, now we have to live with them. This is bike lanes from a resident's point of view. Guess what 2 people emailed me on Monday morning? Did anyone pick this person and that person? David, I would like to point out an increasing problem with bicyclists who seem to feel they could take over our roads in spite of bike lanes and wide pathways throughout Nacatee. My favorite one is this. Perhaps a few words at your level. Oh, right. Okay, my kids won't even listen to me. If anyone goes through Nocatee, one of the things you will notice, you will never find a single yard sign or one of those bandit signs that say, we buy used cars or what. Never. Years and years ago, I started picking up every single one of them. I'll go out there Saturday morning, Sunday morning, pick them up, and by now, people have learned, don't bother putting them out because in no time they'll be gone. So imagine my surprise one Friday afternoon where I left my office, go out, and I see about 200 of these all over the community. Now, at that time, I did not bicycle, so I had a different attitude on things. Unfortunately, I found the young man that was putting out the signs. This is going to lead to an apology. And it will also probably lead to me leaving that way if the person... so anyway, I found the young man, and I, as politely and kindly as I could, I asked him to remove the sign. But I was helpful because I did give him a suggestion on where he could stick the signs. But the guy was very good, and I feel so bad because as a volunteer, coming out, putting out signs before the race. I felt so awful. I feel so awful now. But anyway, they got me in touch with the person who was running the race, and we kind of got it worked out. But the one thing I do want to say for organizers of bike races, call me, and any other community you're going through, don't let it be a surprise. We have had great races through, and we'll send out emails to residents, we'll coordinate everything. But as I say, right now I've got a different attitude, a different outlook on things, and actually encourage the races and so on to come into Nocatee. Amenities. Nacatee built some beautiful amenities, including a $20 million water park. But 3 years ago, we went to expand our amenities, and a group of us went out to Phoenix. And we went to Phoenix because there were some great selling communities out there, and we wanted to learn what they had for amenities, what was working, what was not working. Two communities really stood out in my mind, and this trip we learned a tremendous amount about amenities. Two communities stood out in my mind. First community, we went and said, one of our group talked to them on the phone. They said, talk to you about your great amenities, and just wanted to follow up. We didn't see your amenities coming in. Where are they? And the guy says, see that mountain back there? Yeah, we must have to go. Amenities are probably back there by the mountain, aren't they? See that mountain back there? Well, you probably realized long before we did, the amenities were the mountain. But we also wanted to expand our fitness facility. So we asked him, do you offer fitness? Absolutely. We're huge on fitness. We're big on fitness. The community as a whole is big on fitness. Oh, we didn't see your fitness center. Where's your fitness? See that mountain up there? You could hike it. You could walk it. You could run it. You could bicycle up it. The next community we went to was a community that one of the guys in our group had visited while on vacation a dozen times, and had watched the community grow, and was just fascinated by this beautiful water park and just tremendous amenities. He told us, I haven't been here in a few years, but you got to see this place. It's incredible. We went there, and it was a disaster. It was a deterrent for people to move into the community. It had gotten old, gotten run down, and it just looked awful. And one of the main lessons that we walked away from is with regard to amenities. Certain things get old, and certain other things don't get old. And we looked at what we had with the preserve and with the bike lanes and with the greenways, and realized the value of those amenities were so much greater than we originally thought. And we really began to understand and appreciate the natural amenities and the amenities such as the bike lanes and the trails. So our story is, as it relates to being biker friendly, isn't so much in the planning. And I think in a lot of ways we got lucky in the planning, and we're thankful for the county and for their guidance, and for the engineers in the way they designed it, and the developer in wanting to do some of the right things. But we now have an understanding and embrace Nocatee as a bicycling community, and we want to use it to bring people into the community. Remember, we still have some 8,000 homes to sell. So we're big on bringing people into the community. We want to encourage racing, and I will not harass your volunteers. And we promote it as a great place to ride for all types of bike. We encourage, we help. Now, we just installed this. In fact, last week, that concrete is probably not even dry yet. So we're beginning. Palm Coast is way ahead of us on that, but I don't know if that'll do anybody any good, but what I wanted to do by it more than anything else is send a message. Send a message to our community, send a message to the county and the city that we support biking, and we're here to help it, and we're going to do whatever we could. And that's it.